Life is cruel, and you just never know. You just never know when life is just going to come out and bite you. It's when you least expect. You think you know a guy, and then he gets to call a walk-off, get a ton of recognition, and all of a sudden, just days later, he's too good for you. Unbelievable. Welcome on into the Octopod Live Dive. This is Village Vice's live Friday morning show. I'm Zach Blackerby, stepping in for Brad Law, our pinch hitter, if you will. But please, Daryl, don't hit a walk-off or you won't come on this show either. Daryl Dapprich filling in for Brad Law, who, once again, can't stress this enough. Brad Law feels like he is too good to be here on a Friday morning.
You talk about some big shoes to fill. I mean, this is big. These are some big cleats to have to fill. And yeah, no walk-off. Maybe a bases loaded walk, or maybe I'm hitting behind the runner and advancing him to third, right? I think that's what this is on par.
I just can't believe it. You think you know a guy, and this is what happens. Unreal. So actually some fun stuff to talk about. Auburn updated their football roster last night. And so we'll have a few takeaways with all of that. But we do have a message from Brad Law. So we'll jump into that.
Hold on. Hey, Zach, Dap, guys.
Stop it.
I need to clear the air.
Don't believe you.
I need everyone watching and listening today to know the truth. What these guys have been telling you is not the truth. And I care about the truth.
Yeah, right.
Me not being there today has nothing to do with anything broadcast related. I will be back on the show next week for the next live. Has nothing to do with anything that happened Wednesday night or any other time. All right? My daughter has an event at her school. Frankly, I didn't know parents could come to the event until yesterday. Maybe I overlooked something. But it's an event that she really wants me to be at, and I have the opportunity to be at it. And so I'm at that event right now. So that's why I'm not on the live. I'll be back on the show Monday. I'll be back on the live next week. I needed the rumor and innuendo, the besmirching of my reputation to stop. So there you have it.
A lot of word salad just to say that I am in bigger demand now, and let me just let Dap pinch hit because my star is skyrocketing. Right?
Yep, that's right. I mean, look, like the truth is, we live in a different world today than we did just a few days ago.
It's amazing how, I mean, things can change so much in a few days, and they have. He's in demand. He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
And it's time for him just to, I think, feel like he needs to move on to, he's in demand. And so that's what he's trying to pursue right now.
I guess
I don't blame him.
Legendary.
Legendary calls lead to legendary consequences.
That's right. Mad Mint in the chat says using his kid as a shield. Sad. Really sad.
That is sad.
And I'm there with you. He did give us an animal fact, though, that we will address later in the show. And spoiler, it's not a sea creature. It's actually quite the opposite. Guess which animal you think it is in the chat. Genuinely curious. So looking at the updated roster, I think there's a few things that stand out to me. Champ Anthony, not listed as a corner, listed as a safety. You and I, we talked about the cornerback room on Locked on Auburn. Was that this week? If not, it was last week. We talked about it recently about how good we feel about the corner room. And then we speculated like the safety room so loaded. Do you move Champ back outside? Because that's what he did when he first got to Auburn before he had that traumatic injury. Messed that up twice, 2 different ways. So would they use his positional flexibility? Them putting him at safety tells me that he's going to compete for one of those nickel spots, or, I mean, I don't know. He's so versatile. He really could play all three.
I'm trying to wrap my head around just exactly how deep and hard it's going to be to crack the lineup with this safety room. And I'm not being melodramatic. Think about it. We can name names, but you've got Caleb Harris, you've got Sylvester Smith, you've got Fagans and Winters, right? Now Anthony. I mean, my goodness, where is the playing time going to come from all these? And we're just not talking about projects or talent. We're talking about guys that have done it on the field, that have equity. It's going to be hard.
Daryl, his name is Fred Gaskin.
That's right. I was thinking, I mean, that's 6.
And then Jack Luttrell from Arizona. Some people are higher on him than others. I
like him. I like him. Yeah. It's.
Oh yeah, he's from Arizona. Of course you like him. And then Jacoby Matthews is part of this too. So good room.
He could be from New Mexico, and I would have liked him. I just am figuring out the creativity, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get to spring practice and we get a chance to ask questions of Durkin, because that's going to be my first one. Is how are you going to utilize scheme, game plan to get 6 of these dudes significant snaps on the field? It's a wonderful problem to have. But then at what point do you feel like, I mean, look, here's the other thing, Zach. These guys knew what they were signing up for when they came back or transferred. So what does that tell you about their character and their makeup, about how much dog they have in them that they don't care?
Right.
Incredible room. Incredible position room.
Byron Brown listed officially at 6'3", 232.
Holy cow.
Love that.
That's truckworthy. That's not running out of bounds. That's dipping inside with your shoulder and getting 5 more yards.
Make them not want to tackle you.
Exactly.
Right? JJ Falk, a guy that we all agree, like, okay, pass rush, we have questions on. There are probably answers on the roster, but who's going to be? He's listed at 6'3", 244. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that a lot. Jake Johnson, I think you could argue one of the more important portal additions. It's just kind of boring because it's like, I don't think he's flashy, but I'm okay with the tight end not being flashy. Just do the job. Listed at 6'6", 240. I'm a fan of that. I think that's like almost like the perfect frame as far as, okay, you can block and then you can, make your 2 catches a game or whatever you need to do.
He reminds me, and I've heard some people say that looked at his film that were big Auburn people, of a guy that Auburn had a couple decades ago named Cooper Wallace, who was very crucial to that 2014. Good blocker, very reliable, good possession guy, and really good between the hashes. And Schweiger's another guy, Jack Schweiger, who he's been comped to. That's what Auburn's been lacking over the last years with tight ends. I mean, I think they had that with John Samuel Shanker, but there were some dropsies there. These guys are a little bit. I mean, he that would be a great addition if he comps close to those guys.
Yeah. Wilkes, the freshman edge, listed at 6'4", 245. Goodness gracious.
I wish that we could.
But they have him listed at edge, not linebacker.
That's surprising. And I also would love to see him in some goal line, short yardage situations. Blocking. He was an incredible. Have you seen some of his film in running back in high school?
I've seen his running back stuff. Yeah.
But if he's that big, could you imagine him with his quickness, his speed, and athleticism when you pull him out on a toss sweep? Let's go.
Yep. Joe Phillips listed at 6'2", 261.
Good Lord.
Feel like he's put on some weight.
That's 40 pounds since he got here.
Love that. Omar Mabson, 5'9", 213. Just a solid human being.
Fire hydrant, bowling ball. Let's go.
Tootle listed at 6'3", 235. Good for that's what you want. That's great. Dallas Walker listed at a lean 6'3", 362.
That's what you want, though, from a nose tackle.
Yep. He's
plugging up the middle, man. He's taking on 2 dudes.
Yep. Trying to see if like anything else stood out when I was going through this. Cale Ellis, 6'4", 315. Feel like he's put on some weight.
Tell me Bryson Washington's measurables.
I just went past 6 foot 216. It's actually a little heavier than I would have guessed.
And a little bit, I thought he was 6'2". So I thought he was taller. but still.
There's a few of these where like I don't feel like we're skimping on the height. Like, a lot of rosters kind of like round up, like Byram at 6'3". I feel like other places I've seen him at 6'4", 6'5". So
people that sat with him at a table at that event in Birmingham thought he was all of 6'4" too.
that was Kyle that said that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he doesn't, exaggerate anything.
Yeah, but he wouldn't call a walk-off and not show up to a show the next day either.
Do you know anyone else who's called a walk-off at some point in our span of podcasting and still showed up for shows?
Yes, I can give you a specific example. Lindsey Crosby and I did the Montgomery Biscuits playoff run. They had to go 6-0. We did the radio play-by-play. They went 6-0. And one of the games in that 6-game series, they walked it off with a home run into the barbecue area where they serve barbecue.
Yeah.
And, last time I checked, I remember Lindsay showing up to do your show that Monday morning and me doing the midnight Cal Auburn game that night with you still. When they beat Cal out in Berkeley.
Seems like forever ago.
So that's two specific examples of calling a walk-off and still showing up to do Locked on Auburn, to do the podcast.
How about that? Hey, we got super chat. Ernest saying thumbnail is awesome. Sorry for your loss, Zach. I appreciate it. Shout out to Chat GPT for the thumbnail help there. Looking at some of the offensive linemen, Jacoby Ward, 6'4", 353.
What's
that's almost too big for guard. It's almost like, all right.
What about Ellis? What about Cale Ellis? What's he done in the offseason?
I read him a second ago. Let me find him again. 6'4", 315. And then Cole Best, 6'4", 315.
Wow. That tells you a lot about two centers that are vying for the center position. Same
Yeah,
measurable.
it's like they went into it. It's like, we want guys to play center that are 6'4", 315.
But
both of them are like, yes, we'll do that for you.
Here's the issue, and I want your opinion on this. If one of those moves to guard, is 314 too light for guard?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let's look at the other guard options. So Jacoby Ward's 353, which is massive. The other guard options, Jacob Strand is 302.
Oh.
Jack Layer is 312.
Okay. That seems light to me.
Parker Pritchett, the freshman, 6'5", 310. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Ty Buster's 313.
Okay, well, they're all in the same range then.
Okay, I'm like, where's the other one? Cole Skinner's 325, who you and I think has a chance to start at guard too.
Yeah.
So a little bit larger.
That's interesting. That's good. That tells me there's a specific body type or weight that they want their guards at, that they want their tackles at, that they want their centers at,
Yeah. I didn't realize how big Xavier Newsome was. He used to transfer from Howard.
Tight end.
Tight end. Wearing number 83, which I love as a tight end. Give me tight end numbers in the 80s. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Xavier Newsome listed at 6'6", 255.
Dang.
That's a lot larger than I was expecting.
That's a lot to take down in the red zone, isn't it?
Yep. Arliss Boardingham, 6'3", 250. So Ryan G, 6'5", 261. Way to go, Ryan. That's great. Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, that dude works his tail off. That's awesome.
What's Riddick listed at?
Let me scroll back up to 16. Is he not 16? What number is Riddick? Is he 6?
Well, he changed his number.
He's 6 now.
Okay.
6'2", 228.
Oh, that's lean. That's beautiful. Yeah.
So that tells me they want to keep him a linebacker.
Me too. That's why I asked the question of what is
yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Malik Autry, 6'5", 330. St. Farrier, 6'3", 335. Jordan Crawford, 6 foot, 337. Cody Sigler, 6'2", 302. So they've got the big boys. They've got the big boys down there. So
got another question for you.
Okay.
We've got these heights and weights right now in February. How much do you think they change when these get relisted in August? Still a lot of room to add weight, right?
Yeah, I think it probably depends. I I think a lot of these guys are going to stay about the same, and there's going to be some folks that they want to be lighter, and there's going to be some folks that they want to be a little bit bigger. But yeah, I think it varies. I think it varies based on position. Hunter Herring, the former ULM quarterback, who's now a tight end, 6'5", 230.
That's a good size for.
So they want their tight ends to be 6'5", 6'6". So
yes.
The Reverend Barn Booster with the massive super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the barn. Safeties are usually the director of the secondary. Champ has a high IQ of seeing offensive schemes and disguises, adds versatility against tempo offenses. DJ wants to disguise and cause more turnovers with this move, I think. Yeah. I mean, obviously Champ is a veteran, especially in this system. I mean, I think you could say that about a lot of these safeties, right? Caleb Harris is a guy that he clearly trusts, as well as Sylvester Smith, who's been in this system for a long time. So, I mean, I think you can copy and paste all of that, with Champ Anthony, which is exciting, but it's still going to go through 17 on both sides of the football. It's still going to go through 17. Xavier Atkins is still going to be that guy, but you have to have communication on the back end as well. And they've got several DBs that can do that. I think it's a great point.
And I also think your safeties are the ones that have more of the reputation to be your heaviest hitters, the ones that come up and lay the smack down more than corners do. Safeties are supposed to be more physical and better hitters, and we already know that Champ Anthony has that in his DNA as far as him coming up and popping you. So you do that from a safety position a lot more comfortably than you do from a corner.
All right. Brad Law has a word to say. None of you guys were right about the animal. Here's Brad.
Oh, hey guys, would you like an animal fact?
Yes,
today.
We would. Please.
Okay. Today's animal fact is about squirrels. Did you know that squirrels bury on average about 10,000 nuts every year? And I thought this was kind of interesting. A couple of facts about squirrels and nuts, that they sometimes perform fake burials where they pretend to bury a nut to confuse predators or just throw potential predators off. Or not predators, but people that would come steal their nuts that they buried. Another thing that I thought was interesting was that squirrels actually forget where they bury about 25% of their nuts throughout any given year. So squirrels go around planting thousands of trees every year without knowing it, simply because they forgot where they buried their nuts.
Dude, there are so many angles and avenues that I could take with that I am going to just not. But I think the biggest thing that I loved about that fun fact, two things really.
Animal fact is what we dub it.
Yes, the animal fact is that they fake burying nuts, which is such a fake out. I love that. And then even when they do, they forget 25% of the time. Yeah. I mean, that blows my mind.
Do you think that was like the squirrel species buries 10,000 nuts in a year? Surely that's not one squirrel, right?
No, I bet it's one squirrel.
10,000?
Yeah, I bet it's one squirrel.
How many is that a day? What's 10,000 divided by 365? I just don't think that's the case.
Wouldn't that be?
I'm telling you. I'll tell you exactly.
300 something nuts a day?
No, it'd be 27. 27
nuts a day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy.
You think they're burying a nut an hour?
They are.
Whoa.
They are burying.
Whoa.
I was going to say these squirrels, and it kind of got me tongue-tied, and I said these.
You said these when talking about nuts.
I got tongue-tied. I meant to say these squirrels. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's incredible.
These squirrels are not, 27's nothing. They can do that in their sleep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fact. What an animal fact.
That's a great one. That's a really good one. That's right up there with the octopus one for me.
Funny enough, and this is why I asked him to give us an animal fact, is because the octopus one was also recorded like that. So maybe we should just record those.
The record one seemed to be he seems to bring his A game. He seems to bring his walk-off game.
He knows he's only got like a minute, and he knows we're going to bash him.
I mean, that's a lot of nuts. B, that they forget 25% of those nuts is really interesting. And then they fake people out. Like, I'm trying to figure out what other animal species comes after squirrel's nuts and says, I'm going to steal your nuts. What would it be? Would it be a certain bird?
A bird wanting?
I guess.
Nuts?
The squirrel's like, no, psych. There's no nuts here for you.
Do like deer eat nuts?
Yes. Good point. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
These squirrels.
I meant to say these squirrels, and I got a little tongue-tied. Sorry about that. I'll see myself out. Any questions
or comments in the live chat, hit us up. Would love to hear from you guys.
Chipmunks. Yes, good point. Chipmunks too.
This might be a controversial take.
You're going to say chipmunks just an overvalued squirrel?
Chipmunks and squirrels are the same thing.
Yeah, chipmunks are just
it's the same animal
dressed up differently. Yeah.
It's the same animal. Let's don't overcomplicate this. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Somebody asked about Alex McPherson's weight. That's a good question.
That is a good question. I will say one other thing about this. Somebody put in there black bears eat nuts. No, black bears will just eat the squirrel. They're going to come looking for nuts. They're going to grab the squirrel instead.
Bears eat nuts, don't they?
Yeah, I guess they do. But if there's a squirrel right there, why would you not eat the squirrel? A little healthier, a little bit more, little filling meal.
Somebody said chipmunks are better singers. That's hilarious. Okay, Alex McPherson is 5'9", 160.
Okay, that's not bad. Because did we not hear he got down to like 110 last year?
I know it was low. I don't remember the exact number.
That's a good health. That is the most encouraging number of all.
Yeah. Yep. Somebody asked about Elijah Melinda, 6 foot 228. Guy's going to destroy people today. I bet I wouldn't be shocked if he plays at 230. Like talking about guys whose weight can shift.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if he gained a little bit more going into the camp. I don't know if I really want him to, but would not be shocked if he did.
He's so athletic and active, but he is one of the hardest hitters on the team too. And
do you think so? When we talked about Elijah Melendez, this guy is a thumper. This guy's going to hit you. He's going to throw off guards trying to get to the next level, and he's just going to be a violent linebacker. And then we'll see if other parts of his game can develop. And then he gets 2 interceptions last year.
Right.
And so they're like, oh, he's more than a thumper. He's good in coverage.
Yeah.
Do you think he's actually good in coverage, or do you think he just got 2 interceptions?
Oh, I think he's so athletic, and especially I told you this early on, watching him go sideline to sideline, I think he put himself in position. And I think like that meme that's been out there forever, why not both?
Yeah.
I think that he is very, very physical, but he can also be athletic enough to get in the right spot with passing lanes.
Yep.
I love him. I think he is, man, him and Atkins and Riddick, holy cow. And Diaz, Diaz. I always say his name, it's Diaz, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may want to say D's, though.
Well, that's what I was trying to not say. That's what I was trying to avoid.
Yeah. He's 6'1", 210, Bryce Diaz.
Man, I love something that went into last year as a question mark in the offseason has now become an emphatic exclamation point. The linebacker room, the safety room, the corners. I know you still have a few questions on that. We'll see, but I like the quantity. We'll see about the quality. I think it's there. And then, of course, we're still looking at can they rush the passer, but everything else on the back end behind them, because if they can rush the passer, everybody on the back end behind them is going to really benefit.
Right. Right. Reverend asking any dark horse transfers minus Jake Johnson. That's a great one to have. I think there's a few offensive linemen you could go with. Just the nature of it. They're probably not getting as much attention as they probably should. But I mean, whoever starts at the tackle spots, I mean, we feel like that's going to be
Simmons is a dark horse for me.
Yeah.
And I like, I know that, help me out here, Keyshawn Singleton got a ton of the publicity as being the receiver from South Florida, but don't sleep on Koger. He seems to be a dark horse for me too.
Yeah, Koger, Nimrod. The staff likes all their receivers. It's just, what does that market share look like?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is Derek Plaz's weight? It was like 305, 310, 6'4", 310. Derek Plaz's weight, 6'4", 310. Of course,
I got
a transfer from Miami.
I got a dark horse,
Okay.
Mathis,
Buddy Mathis,
along the defensive line. I think he is, the VKW effect might be real.
He's listed at 6'2", 285. So that definitely confirms that 3 technique defensive tackle spot. Yep. I think that's a great one. Surprised you didn't say Tristan Tia.
Well, we talked about him so much earlier, but yeah, I mean, and I don't know how much of a dark horse, somebody that we're all hoping doesn't play hardly at all. That's what we're hoping. Sure. That's the best case scenario, right? Except I say that, but if he gets a lot of snaps, that's wonderful for Auburn because that means they're blowing people out.
Yep. All right. Daryl, thanks for stepping in for Brad Law. We appreciate it.
Loved it. It was fun. Enjoyable. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Please like the video. Please subscribe. I don't want to botch what Brad says. That does it for today's show. Everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.